A cold Atlantic wind moves across the western edge of Ireland. The grass bends in slow waves. The sky hangs low and gray over a lonely stretch of coastline on the Dingle Peninsula. At first glance, the landscape feels empty, almost untouched. But then, half hidden among the stones and wild grass, something strange appears. A small dome-shaped structure made entirely of stacked rock. No cement, no wooden beams, no metal supports. Just hundreds of stones, carefully balanced, forming a perfect beehive shape. It looks fragile, primitive even. The kind of thing you might expect to collapse in the first serious storm. And yet this building has already survived more than 1,000 years of Atlantic wind, salt, rain, and freezing winters. Inside, the air is dry. The walls are tight. The structure holds firm without a single drop of mortar binding the stones together. Meanwhile, across the modern world, engineers spend billions repairing cracked concrete, reinforcing failing structures, and battling materials that barely last a century. And here, on a windy Irish hillside, sits a stone house that has quietly outlived empires. This is the story of the Clachan, Ireland's ancient stone houses built without mortar, and the surprisingly powerful engineering secret hidden inside their walls. At first glance, a Clachan looks simple. Almost too simple. A round hut made of stacked stones, slowly tapering inward until the walls meet at the top like a stone dome. No cement filling the gaps. No glue holding anything together. Just gravity and careful craftsmanship. But that simplicity hides a remarkably clever building method known today as corbelling. Corbelling is a technique where each layer of stone extends slightly inward from the one below it. Stone by stone, ring by ring, the walls slowly close toward the center until the structure seals itself at the top. If you were to slice the building in half, the stones would resemble a staircase leaning inward toward the sky. Each stone presses down and inward onto the stones beneath it, distributing the weight evenly through the structure. Nothing relies on a single weak point. The entire hut becomes a self-supporting shell. Modern builders often rely on mortar to glue materials together. But mortar eventually cracks. Water seeps in. Freeze and thaw cycles break it apart. Over decades, tiny fractures grow until the wall weakens. Clachans avoid that problem entirely. Because there is no mortar to fail. The stones shift slightly with temperature, with wind, with time, and instead of breaking, the structure simply settles tighter. The real secret behind the Clachan isn't strength alone. It's pressure. When stones are arranged in this inward stepping pattern, gravity becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Every stone above pushes down and inward on the stones below. The weight of the entire structure locks the lower stones into place. The heavier the roof becomes, the tighter the walls grip each other. Engineers today call this a compression structure. It works the same way as ancient stone arches and Roman bridges. In compression, stone performs incredibly well. Stone hates being pulled apart, but it thrives when being squeezed. Medieval builders didn't describe it in those terms. They didn't need to. They understood the principle through experience passed down through generations. The shape itself solved the problem. And in some ways, modern construction has moved away from these ideas. Today, we favor materials that can be assembled quickly on a massive scale. Concrete, steel, and prefabricated components dominate the industry. They allow cities to rise quickly, but they often sacrifice longevity for speed. Many modern concrete buildings require major structural repair within 50 to 100 years. Meanwhile, Clachans built 1,400 years ago are still standing against the Atlantic wind. To understand why these huts existed in the first place, we need to step back into early medieval Ireland. Around the 6th to 9th centuries, Ireland was dotted with small farming communities and isolated monastic settlements. Large stone castles had not yet appeared. Timber structures were common, but wood rotted quickly in Ireland's damp climate. Stone, on the other hand, was everywhere. The rocky landscape of the West provided an endless supply of building material. Farmers clearing their fields often piled stones along the edges of their land. Over time, people realized these stones could be used for more than just boundaries. They could become walls. The process of building a clachan was labor-intensive but straightforward. First, builders selected flat stones that could stack naturally without wobbling. The base circle was laid out carefully, often several meters wide. Each layer of stones was placed slightly inward from the one below it, creating that distinctive beehive curve. Small gaps between stones were filled with carefully wedged fragments. Not mortar, just smaller stones acting as locks. As the walls rose higher, the interior space slowly narrowed until the final capstone sealed the roof. The doorway was typically small and low, sometimes only a meter high, forcing anyone entering to crouch. This design wasn't accidental. A smaller entrance reduced wind exposure and helped retain warmth inside the hut. One of the most famous places to see clachans today is the ancient monastic site on Skellig Michael, a steep rocky island rising out of the Atlantic Ocean in the 6th century. Irish monks sailed to this remote island, seeking isolation for prayer and study. There, on narrow terraces carved into the rock, they built several clachans that still stand today. Imagine the challenge. The island sits more than 12 kilometers offshore, surrounded by dangerous waters and towering cliffs. Every stone used to build those huts had to be carried by hand across steep steps carved into the rock. Yet the monks constructed perfectly balanced stone dwellings that have endured more than a millennium of Atlantic storms. Archaeologists studying Skellig Michael estimate that the main monastic settlement was established around the year 600. Some of the huts there are over 1,400 years old. They remain dry inside even during heavy rain. The thick stone walls regulate temperature surprisingly well, staying cool in summer and relatively warm in winter. In many ways, these huts function like natural climate control systems. Another remarkable cluster of clachans exists on the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry, particularly at a site known as Fahan. Here, archaeologists have identified the remains of more than 400 stone huts scattered across the hillsides. This wasn't a monastery. It was a farming community. Families lived in these huts, raised animals, and cultivated small plots of land overlooking the sea. The settlement likely thrived between the 8th and 12th centuries. The density of structure suggests a busy, self-sufficient village built almost entirely from stone gathered from the surrounding land. Some huts were used as homes, others as storage buildings, workshops, or shelters for animals. What's striking is how consistent the construction technique remained across centuries. The same inward-stepping corbel method appears again and again. This wasn't a one-time experiment. It was a deeply understood tradition. Perhaps the most famous surviving clachan today sits just outside the village of Ventry on the Dingle Peninsula. Known as Gallerus Oratory, it is often described as one of the best-preserved early medieval buildings in Ireland. Though slightly different from typical clachans, its construction follows the same core principle. The stone walls slope inward in perfect precision, forming a tight vaulted structure without mortar. The stones are cut and fitted so carefully that rainwater runs off the building like it does from a modern roof. Some researchers debate the exact date of Gallerus Oratory, but many estimates place its construction between the 9th and 12th centuries. Regardless of the exact year, the building has survived nearly 1,000 years of harsh weather. Step inside during a storm, and you may notice something surprising. The interior remains completely dry. Now consider the modern contrast. Today, most homes and buildings rely heavily on materials like reinforced concrete and steel. These materials are incredibly strong and allow engineers to design skyscrapers, bridges, and massive infrastructure projects. But they also come with hidden trade-offs. Concrete production alone accounts for roughly 8% of global carbon emissions. Steel production adds even more environmental cost. And despite their strength, these materials are vulnerable to corrosion, chemical degradation, and structural fatigue. Many modern buildings are designed with an expected lifespan of 50 to 100 years before major renovation becomes necessary. In other words, much of our infrastructure is built with the assumption that future generations will repair or replace it. The Glocken represents a completely different philosophy. It prioritizes permanence, local materials, and simplicity. It requires time and skill to build, but almost no maintenance once complete. Could someone build a Glocken today? In theory, yes. The principles are straightforward. But there are practical challenges. Modern building codes in many countries require materials and construction methods that meet specific safety standards. A traditional corbelled stone hut might not easily pass those regulations without significant modification. There is also the matter of labor. Constructing one of these huts requires patience, careful stone selection, and experience in balancing the structure correctly. It's not something that can be assembled quickly with modern machinery, but the concept still inspires modern architects and sustainable builders. Some experimental eco-builders today study ancient, dry stone techniques to create low-impact structures that blend with the natural landscape. In a world increasingly concerned with sustainability, the Glocken quietly demonstrates that durable architecture doesn't always require complex materials. Now imagine standing once again on that windy Irish hillside. The Atlantic stretches endlessly toward the horizon. Waves crash against dark cliffs below, and beside you sits a small dome of carefully stacked stone. It has already survived more storms than any person alive today will ever witness. Generations of people have come and gone. Empires have risen and fallen. Technology has transformed the world. Yet this humble stone hut remains almost exactly as it was when its builders finished placing the final stone centuries ago. No mortar, no nails, no modern engineering software. Just patience, observation, and an understanding of how materials behave under the quiet force of gravity. Place that image beside a modern suburban house built with concrete blocks and chemical adhesives. One structure is designed for convenience and speed. The other was designed for endurance. Both reflect the priorities of their time. But the Glocken carries a quiet lesson from the past. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are not the most complex. Sometimes they are simply the ones that work with nature instead of trying to overpower it. And somewhere on the windswept coast of Ireland, as the Atlantic wind moves through the grass, those ancient stone walls continue to do exactly what they were built to do: stand. If you learned something from this story, consider subscribing for more forgotten knowledge hidden in the ancient world.